What's up? It's a Thursday. Hey. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of Ad Free Show. No, not Ad Free Shows anymore. Studio1sports.com. And I'm here.
We were so close. We're not part of Ad Free Shows. Ad Free Shows doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's no more.
The plan was always that it was going to migrate fully to Podcast Heat. So the people who wanted to think that we had been removed by Mr. Conrad Thompson for the occasional jokes Dom has made at his expense. Never me, never Scott Chaplin, never anybody. Always been Dom. Horrible things Dominic D'Angelo said about Conrad, who's a lovely man who sent me a nice little note on my daughter's bat mitzvah. So hate to, ruin a good story here, but we are still part of the Podcast Heat family or whatever that family is. We're also part of the 2D1 Sports family, which Lord knows who that includes at this point. I haven't even checked. The roster Dom has, it's like the Don Callis family of podcasters. But we are going to say hello to the fine folks. Well, hello there. E says, what's up? When is the next Fonzie ep? Wrong show. What isn't it? Before I place bets for Saturday, with Robert, I mean the masked man be at the Elimination Chamber. How dare you, sir? I will be prepping for Sunday for the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Birthday Bash, which will be taking place here in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. Limited seats still available if you are able to make it out. Otherwise, it'll be streaming on the YouTube, Dom.
On the YouTube. That's the place.
Cammy Star says, after morning, guys. Wanna Breeze says, hello, R&I. Where is Dom today? Is Robert on today or back on assignment? And maybe we'll talk a little wrestling today.
We will.
We will. We're here. Willie Thornbrew says, Texas F match. What a surprise. Oh, we'll talk about that segment. Wrestling Old Head says, good after morning, everyone. AEW is trying to stack Revolution, but are we excited?
I'm getting more excited.
Willie Thornbrew says, so glad you're back, Robert. Working stiff is not the same without you. I actually just recorded a working stiff, which I haven't even sent to you yet, Dom. In fact, I'm literally in the process of sending it while we are live on the air.
Whoa, hot off the presses.
Yes. Me and Scott Chaplin did our preview of Elimination Chamber as well as talked Dynamite and Raw. But there I got to use a lot of F-bombs. Here we get to be a little bit more duplicitous and professional, sir. So have we said all of our hellos? Yes, I think we've said enough of our hellos. Let's get to the show. You wrote AEW delivers in Denver. What did it deliver for you, Dom?
I thought it delivered a lot better than what I expected from what Dynamite's been doing. I know I said the show last week was good, but you convinced me otherwise. And it was like, all right, how are they going to correct some course here and kind of do things? Now, they did kind of punt the ball on a couple things, but overall, I thought the show was pretty good. And when I make the comparison over to Raw specifically, it's been better for the past several weeks. So that's kind of my assessment on it there, Robert.
Not gonna disagree. Raw was absolute backside. Mm-hmm. That is the word that we were going with. I just finished talking with Scott where we kept using, for whatever reason, he describes everything as being ass, and it's like gotten in my head, and I can't stop doing it. Oh, it's a problem.
Scott's seeping into you.
That was gross. Look, I think Dynamite. If I go to look at the card, mm-hmm. We did a preview yesterday. A lot of what we talked about in the preview kind of came to fruition. We said Moxley versus El Clone was probably going to be a very solid back and forth match and a good spotlight that Moxley can work with a guy of any size and capability, and that El Clone can hang with the main eventer. I thought that's what this did.
Yeah, and I thought he's providing to be an anchor week in and week out in a positive way for AEW, especially in this kind of role. Still kind of not a fan of all the Death Rider stuff, obviously, and where they at, gray area bull crap going down. But ultimately, yes, I like what they're doing with Mox.
It works. It's kind of, hey, forget about the Death Riders, forget about the number of people they've tried to murder over the last few years. Boy, that John Moxley is pretty good in the ring. That's kind of what we got. The Prince Nana stuff with women Swerve.
Yes.
I liked it.
I did too.
I don't like the Swerve heel turn just because I feel like as a babyface, I don't want to take that bullet out of my chamber. The audience is behind Swerve with the Swerve's house stuff. He's a viable threat and a challenger in the same way Hangman is, in the same way Brody King is, in the same way Kenny Omega is, in the same way Will Ospreay is going to be. Stacking the deck for MJF is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Heel side being the Don Callis family is fine for right now because MJF isn't going to be facing another heel.
Right.
When you turn Swerve, you immediately take away a Swerve MJF match.
True.
Don't like that.
I see. So I think the Swerve turn, I'm more okay with. I do think there was a point where it was getting to the point of plateauing him as a babyface. And I think putting him in this kind of role reinvigorates his character, could potentially build up some other baby faces. And I didn't even think about this, Robert, but Swerve turning heel in turn turns Prince Nana heel. And I think that could be a fun dynamic as well. So
Nana's a better heel than a babyface. No argument here. In real life or otherwise. I'm kidding. I love Nana. He is a genuine delight and a coffee aficionado. That's why I've got my coffee right here. I thought the Swerve promo, though, was very strong. This idea of, I did all this because Kenny made the mistake of not acknowledging that I'm the most dangerous man in wrestling. I'm going to make him regret that, and I will make anyone who gets in my way regret that they ever crossed my path.
Yes. I'm all for the Swerve heel turn. I think it's
though I do like that Swerve pointed out how insanely stupid this booking is. I know that Hangman and I made peace and we buried the hatchet, and I said that this was all over. Well, I lied because let's be honest, the most over that I've been is when I'm a heel. So screw it, I'm a heel again.
Guess what? That's what's happening.
Let's make it happen. Orange Cassidy, Gabe Kidd. They had a match. It took place on television.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Gabe Kidd, everything with him. We talked about it at the beginning of last year. He was going to be the next hot act. Feels very flat, very forgettable. Doesn't get a chance to talk or perpetuate this feud at all.
And then we got Clark, Don't Call Me Chuck Connors coming out. And Darby wearing a coat.
Yeah. In Denver, nonetheless. It's fine. Cold.
Darby feels ice cold.
Ooh.
I mean, I didn't mean to be pun, but like, given that he was at war with the Death Riders.
Yeah.
He never won the title. He didn't get the big definitive revenge victory against Moxley. Like, the Death Riders sent this man to go climb Mount Everest because he was so consumed with anger. And now he's feuding with it's just, I don't know.
The Dirty Dogs, whatever they are. I don't even know what they're called still.
They can't be called. That can't really be what they're called, are they? Are they called the Dirty Dogs?
No, I don't know. There's like the Wolf Gang or something. I don't know what they're called. Something with wolves. I don't know.
Kevin Knight took on Mansoor.
Yes.
Fine match to get to a Kevin Knight promo where he's one of the trios titles champion holder, man. Dudes.
Noted.
He wants to see Hangman beat MJF.
Also noted.
Who's also his partner. So that he can then beat Hangman.
Yes.
For the AEW World title.
Yes.
Got it.
You got to be a competitor, though. I'm all right with it. I was more happy that Kevin Knight got to cut a promo, even if it's like, just get him some experience out there and have him do it. So I was all right with
it. MJF and Hangman Adam Page.
Were you all right at this?
Tom, we've known each other for a couple of years now. What do you think my take on this? We're gonna board the logic train here.
So I think there's a lot of flawed logic in this one, and I think you are going to point it out.
I will praise Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, botch of the year. By saying the stipulation that MJF was going to announce the segment before. Chef's kiss. And then tweeted about it today because he realized he screwed up and was like, I heard MJF bragging about it all day in the back, and that's why I said something.
Hey, that's a good cover up.
Nice cover. Nice cover. Absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
So, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, friend of the show.
Had a brief cameo appearance at my daughter's bat mitzvah this past weekend. Did get a pop because that's what matters. Is defending his title in a straight up wrestling match against Hangman Adam Page, because Hangman Adam Page won the opportunity to challenge MJF for the title in a straight up professional wrestling match.
Yeah.
Hangman then said this needs to have a stipulation. As an attorney, there's offer, acceptance, consideration. They're giving somebody in exchange for something. The consideration was, I want a stipulation match. You can pick the stipulation, and to sweeten this pot, I will never challenge for the AEW World Title again if I lose. Okay, we have agreed. So Max can pick any match he wants.
Anything.
This one-way no DQ match, brilliant idea. Hilarious. I love it. Has great heel logic to it. Would be really, really fun. He then does this coin thing.
Yes.
Which he didn't need to do because he has the right to pick. All he has to do is go out there and say, hey, guess what? This is the match. Thanks for coming. Goodbye. And we're done. Instead, we go through the machinations of this coin. They flip the coin.
Yes.
MJF wins.
Yes.
Tony Schiavone, not friend of the show, because he is a Georgia Bulldog, and that is the lowest form of scum that exists.
Wow.
This is why he calls me Gator, because he knows the superior mascot. Gets radioed in his ear. Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I have just been informed the coin was rigged. I'm not allowed to curse on this show. So now it's automatically a Texas Death Match.
Yeah. Oh, he's muting because he's swearing.
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely trying to figure out the next word that wasn't going to start with an F.
Oh.
Dude, you managed to make MJF look stupid. You're giving them the Texas Death Match that if Hangman loses, he never gets a shot at the AEW World Title again. And if MJF loses, he loses in a match that he didn't want to be a part of, didn't agree to, didn't pick, was forced into it by essentially your evil GM president.
Yes.
This is a series of just to quote Pitch Perfect 2, fart noise.
I was more upset at the fact that like MJF mentions the quarter, he flips the quarter, he wins the stipulation thing, and then walks away, and Hangman just lets it happen. Nobody decides to check the quarter beforehand, because when you introduce a quarter into any kind of thing, you'd probably want to check it if you know MJF's character. So that threw me off. I didn't like that either. That seemed like a little flawed.
It's like Schrodinger's quarter.
Yes.
Babes of Wrath, Penelope Ford, Megan Bayne. We didn't quite understand why this match was necessarily set. It looks like Penelope Ford may have been injured, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't look like they were planning on changing the titles here anyway. So why did we have this match?
Why? This is what I meant by punting the ball earlier, was this match. It was just like, what are you doing? Like, there's 0 point to having this.
Don't get it. Boss Brat 3429 asks, dumb question. Can a Texas Death Match end in a draw like a last man standing, or is it a submission only? So it's a draw if both men die.
Yes. That's true. Because that's true.
Or what we wind up getting here is Swerve costs Hangman the match. This was all along Khan. He hates him all along. And then we burn each other's houses down again.
Would you be up for that?
We're getting Punk and Roman. I give up with anything. We got Brody King versus Mark Davis.
Yes.
And Mark Davis is a big man. He is an imposing looking man. I'm totally fine with using him in this sort of capacity. Big dude versus big dude, which of course sets up the match we've been waiting for. Brody King versus Swerve.
Makes sense, right?
But fear not.
Don Callis family.
Yes. Fear not, because Bandito is facing Andrade.
Yes.
This totally feels like Tony, by God, Khan saying, well, we got to have matches. Do we need logic? No. Do we need storylines? No. What's the most fun matches I want to see? Oh, it'd be really cool to see this guy versus this guy. Done.
Let's just have him walk out and have it happen.
I feel like I'm doing this gesture a lot. I don't know.
I do want to say Mark Davis, his nickname's Dunkzilla. He's from Australia. I only associate Dunkaroos with Australia because their kangaroo was on the package. Did you get the same connection, Robert?
I assume that was it. That it was a Dunkaroo reference.
What I don't know if it is or not, but
Look, Dunkaroos are great. Get the little cookie thing and you just like stick it into the chocolate. And guys, speaking of sticking something in,
yes,
you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation for the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast incarnate that's setting the gold standard for performance. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code RUMOR. That's promo code RUMOR. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo. Dom, the main event of this show was they just put a bunch of things into a bag and shook it up, and here are the names. And it was the Young Bucks and the Rascals and Jungle Jack Perry versus FTR and the Demand. It felt like a house show main event of let's just throw everybody out there and let them go have some fun. It was a fun match that it was kind of a big who cares.
I was okay with it. I was kind of thinking, though, like, doesn't this kind of take away from the anarchy in the arena, the specialness of that? Because that's basically what this was.
Yeah, it was an anarchy in the arena without any anarchy and without any arena.
True. Yeah, I did want to mention this, too. So they showed what happened on Collision with FTR and the Young Bucks.
Which I appreciated.
Yeah, which I did, too. Isn't the Young Bucks' dad kind of at fault for all this? He shoved Dax first. Like, I mean, you lay hands on the guy, he has the right to push you back. Maybe not pile drive your other son, but nonetheless, it seemed kind of egregious on Papa Buck's part. Do you have problems with that, Robert, like I do?
Please don't make me apply logic to a Young Bucks segment. It's bad enough that I just had to say I was happy that they at least showed the whatever.
I defended the Young Bucks on last week's Working Stiff, by the way. Check it out.
Glad I wasn't here for that. Wrestling Warhead says, what did you guys think of that Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada forming a new tag team? Pinky and the Rainmaker. That's funny. Yeah, look, I get it. We're telling the story that Okada is like, you're my best friend, not Takeshita's. Eventually, they'll pay off that story.
Yeah, at some point or another, right?
Before the earth falls into the sun, we will see Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita lock it up.
What did you overall think of this Dynamite then, Robert?
It worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I do think it was kind of punting the ball, but it still made. I think they put themselves corrected course a little bit in certain ways. I think just because it was better than Raw, and I do think if they continue some of this stuff where you elevate a guy like Brody King and you elevate some of these other rising stars like a Kevin Knight, and then you give certain people a little bit more promo time, bit more personality, get to show themselves. I think you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's in certain ways. Obviously, they have the Tony Khan flaw where, like you said, throws it out there and let's have fun matches. But hopefully, we get a little bit of both, I guess.
I think it worked. We got the best of all worlds. This was a perfectly good episode of Dynamite. Outside of that coin flip thing, just made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Like, why go through the machinations of that to make MJF look especially dumb if it was always just going to be a Texas Death Match?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. What I do know is you have Timothy Chalamet credits Pro Wrestling ! Yes. I don't know why that has an exclamation point. I don't know why we're so excited. Where was Timothy Chalamet and what was he doing? Was this something different than the Cody thing from a couple months ago?
Yes, it is. So Chalamet, he was at a CNN Variety Town Hall alongside Matthew McConaughey, and during it, Chalamet was actually asked by a student whether wrestling had shaped his approach to acting, and Chalamet said this: hugely, professional wrestling for me was sort of a guidepost growing up because I wanted to be an athlete. I just didn't have the skill, the body, the physique, the speed. WWE and professional wrestling was somewhere in the middle. It was like the Titans are athletes, both men and women, but with some of it with the showmanship and storytelling. And then this is the interesting quote I thought too. Not to get too pretentious, but almost in a Greek theater setting, the archetypes that these guys represent. I loved a wrestler named the Boogeyman, and he was just archetype. I can't say the word
Archetypal.
Yes, nightmarish. And so I just thought that was kind of cool. Wrestling gets a shout out. Chalamet has mentioned, his fandom earlier in the past, like you said, but it's kind of neat to see him really credited when he's got an Oscar nomination coming up here.
I love that he's giving wrestling its due. I somewhat love and somewhat feel ancient when he was talking about his favorite time of being a wrestling fan as a small boy was back when I was writing. And he was referencing exact segments and episodes that I was a part of. And I was like, oh no. I remember when I interviewed with Stephanie and talked about the Greek theater and Shakespeare and the narrative storytelling that you have the opportunity to do with wrestling. We're seeing a real renaissance with mainstream celebrities and people within music and athletics and fully embracing being wrestling fans. That was not a thing. Nope. There are stories about wrestlers who would meet guys in the past. Like it was a Gene Hackman story where he was backstage at a show, and they all kind of like had to hide the fact that they enjoyed any kind of wrestling whatsoever. Now it is a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. So I will, I guess, now be rooting for Timothée Chalamet to win the Oscar.
Yes, he's nominated for Marty Supreme, as a matter of fact, which I need to still watch. I actually never saw a Chalamet movie, but then I realized I did. It was the Wes Anderson film he was in. I can't remember the name of it, though, but it was good, whatever it was.
I mean, you never saw Interstellar?
Nope.
I liked, I was going to say, and then he was good in the Woody Allen movie, Rainy Day in New York.
Oh,
he was actually quite enjoyable as the Woody Allen avatar. I know he's disowned being in that film and all that, but he was uniquely charming. I'm not a big Dune fan.
No, I'm not either.
I tried. I watched them. They're fine, but not my cup of tea. But that's the beauty of film. It's the beauty of wrestling. You don't have to like every type of wrestling out there. But a type of wrestling that I grew up loving was ECW, and we have a little treat that's going to probably be dropping tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. Yes, I would say so. Should we reveal who we're chatting with?
This is on you, dude. I don't set up this nonsense. You're the guy.
Well, as of now,
what about you?
Later today, Robert and I will be talking to Raven, and we'll get some quotes from him, I'm sure, to talk about his documentary that just recently released. And so we'll go into details with that, and it should be a fun one. We're scheduled later today to chat with him, and should be a fun one, Robert.
He is I feel like he's the only, maybe one of there's maybe 2 or 3 total ECW originals that I have never had a chance to speak with before.
Wow, that's great.
So I think it's him, Shane Douglas. Wow, are the only guys that I've never really had a chance to or have an in-depth conversation with. I've met your boy Rob, never had a real major conversation with him. Or we crossed paths in WWE as did with Sandman or Sabu and the Dudleys and my boy Taz and Lance and all that. But Raven, hugely influential on my fandom. So I am really excited. I went back, I watched his documentary on Amazon Prime now for a second time, took some notes on that. I went and listened to his Chris Van Vliet interview because I didn't want to ask the same questions that Chris did. This is going to be a good time. I am really excited for this interview that we're going to be recording it this afternoon and then posting it tomorrow. But we will be back tomorrow, as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative _ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Podcast Heat and Studio One Sports. Dom, I can't believe I have to talk to you for a second time today, but thankfully the rest of these folks won't have to hear it till tomorrow. So on behalf of Mr. 2 times Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavor.
Maybe, Robert, we should start a flock.
Shh.